my Built for 1,000 Nation. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone's having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better from here. We are back with another MrBallen video. This one's titled One Woman's Night of Terror. Now, no, it is not a very long video, but it sticks with the theme, so here we are. I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's go ahead and get into this story. Go ahead, turn them lights down low, put on something comfy, cup with someone special. Whew. Let's get terrorized. Yeah.
We all like to believe that when we are home behind our shut and locked doors and shut and locked windows, tucked away inside of our bedroom under our covers, that we're safe. That our family members and their bedrooms, they're all safe. But in reality, that's not true. Most of the time it is, and most of the time that illusion of safety is enough that you don't think about it very often, that someone actually could probably break into your house if they wanted to. Not all houses. Some people are much more prepared than others.
What kind of fucking house is that? Do you have to take a boat to it? I want it. I want to live there. I want to walk in front of all these windows bucket naked. There's nothing but woods around me. No one can say shit.
But most people never have to worry about that actually becoming a reality, someone breaking into their home. But there are people that do live that nightmare, when the place they look at as safe becomes unsafe. Today's story is about someone who believed they lived in a safe house, in a safe neighborhood. But in a moment's notice, that illusion was shattered.
Man, everyone likes to think they're in a safe environment, a safe neighborhood. You never really know until you actually live there. Like, yeah, it could look like Wisteria Lane, but once you get there, it's like Nightmare on Elm Street. You know what I mean?
Before we get into today's story, if you are a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious told in story format, well, then you've discovered the right channel, because that's all I do, and I upload 3 to 4 times a week. So if that's your style and you might be interested in something like that, I would encourage you to please gently incinerate, gently incinerate, gently incinerate, keep it together, here we go. Please gently incinerate the like button and then subscribe to my channel and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any of those weekly uploads.
And he used to lose his shit over these ones. If he only knew where he would be at with that like button, man.
All right, let's get into today's story. In 2017, a woman had just moved in to a beautiful home in Northern California that was just outside the suburbs. It was in kind of a more rural area. You know, there wasn't any street lights.
Nice.
She did have neighbors, but they were, pretty far away from where she was actually staying. But she loved it, and it was this beautiful area. You know, she'd go outside at night on her porch, and she'd look up, and because there...
See, I like that seclusion feel. I hate the fact that my neighbors live as close to me as they do where I live now. Like, I don't know. I like to be far enough away to where I don't have to hear the hooting and hollering in other people's yards. But I like to be close enough to people to where, if I'm wanting to go see someone or visit a neighbor or something, I don't have to travel hours. So I like a good middle ground, good middle ground. Yeah.
There wasn't much light pollution. You know, she could see the stars, and she just loved it.
Stars.
And even though she didn't see her neighbors very often, she knew them. They were older.
Neighbors are overrated.
Nice. It was just like a really warm, welcoming neighborhood, albeit people enjoyed their space, but it was safe. And it was a place that she truly loved and didn't expect to move anytime soon. Later that year, in the winter, she got home from work one day. She had a long shift. She was exhausted, and she pulls into her driveway, and when she steps out, she immediately smelled cigarette smoke. She didn't smoke. She didn't think her neighbors smoked. It was not a high-trafficked area. I mean, they're in kind of this rural part of Northern California, and her street, the only people that really ever went on it were her and her neighbors. And so she was thinking, like, who was smoking near my house? But It was really, really foggy this day. She could barely see, even when she was pulling into her driveway, she could only see what her headlights had illuminated on her house. I mean, it was like no visibility.
I don't like
She
that. I
kind
don't
of
like
glanced
that at
around,
all.
but she was like,
Like the mist or some shit? No, fuck that. I ain't pulling up in there with all that jank smoke all over the place. Probably a crackhead somewhere.
you know what? I'm so tired. I just want to go to bed. So she just kind of forgets about the cigarette smoke, wasn't really that concerned about it, and goes in her house. And even though it's like 7 o'clock, she's like, I'm just going to go to bed. So she heads upstairs, takes a shower, and gets in bed. A couple hours later, she wakes up because she thinks she hears something on her first floor. At the time, she had a close friend that was taking classes in the city, but working outside of the city, and sometimes didn't have enough time to get back to his house to shower and clean up before work. And so she'd actually given him a set of her keys so that at odd hours when he was going between classes and work, he could just come to her house, take a shower, get changed. It was just a lot easier for him, and they were close enough, it wasn't a big deal. But he always texted her before he came to her house as a courtesy. Hey, I'm going to be there taking a shower, using your house just for a minute. And they rarely actually ran into each other because his hours were so strange. So when she wakes up and hears commotion downstairs, the first thing she does is check her phone for a text message because she's assuming that it's her friend who's just, stopped by to use the shower or change or whatever he's going to do. So she reaches over to her bedside table, grabs her phone, and she opens it, and it blinded her because she's just woken up, and she kind of squinted at her phone, and she couldn't really tell if there was any unread messages from him or not, but she just put her phone down and decided she would yell out, just a lot faster than trying to read this text message. So she yells out to him, and there's silence downstairs. And she yells out again, hey, is that you? And there's silence. And then all of a sudden she hears very loud footsteps running across the first floor, charging up the stairs. She instinctively leaps out of bed, runs into her closet, which is right across from her bed. And as soon as she's literally stepping into the closet, she can hear whoever was downstairs now is in the hallway upstairs. And so the layout upstairs is there's a bedroom on the left, a bedroom on the right of the hallway, and straight ahead at the end, there's a bathroom.
My thump would be thumping on my ass. But see, I'm an idiot. I'm not exactly brave. I'm stupid. I would have been that son of a bitch that would have opened that door and started running back. And I'm not saying that because, like I said, I'm a brave person. I'm saying that because I am an idiot. And that's exactly what I would do.
And the 2 bedroom doors were shut. The bathroom door was open. This person bombed up the stairs and ran right past the bedroom doors, one of them she was in, straight to the bathroom. It allowed her an opportunity to pop open the attic crawl space that the access was inside of her closet. She pops that open and is able to clamber up into the attic, and is literally, her feet are still being sucked up into the attic as whoever that was, they realize she's not in the bathroom and they started charging back down. They punch open the door that she's in and they charge into her bedroom. She's trying to suck her legs up into the attic crawl space. She gets him up just in time and has her knees sucked up against her chest when he comes into her bedroom, flips on the light, and opens the closet. From her vantage point, she's looking down, and just because of the way the view was obscured, she could only make out that it was someone wearing like kind of tattered jeans with the cuffs rolled up and dirty work boots. This was definitely not her friend. And as she's looking at his shoes and pants, wondering if he's gonna poke his head in and look up and see this crawl space where she is, and she has nothing she can do. If he decided to reach up and get her, there's nowhere for her to go. She didn't have her phone, it was on the bedside table, and she's just hoping that he doesn't see her. Luckily, he turns around and starts rummaging through everything in her bedroom, basically looking for her. Flips the bed over, knocks over the dresser, and then he screams this loud scream of frustration. And as he's screaming, she pushes the little crawl space cover over the spot. So now she's completely tucked away inside of the crawl space and she can't see anything. And for the next several hours, this person was literally screaming and running around the house, punching walls, screaming, "Where are you?" Running down the hall, reopening the bathroom, going into the other bedroom, clearly knocking things over, just going crazy looking for this girl. And then it slowed down and she heard him walking around the house, and he would say periodically,
"I'm gonna find you. I know you haven't left yet. I'm gonna find you."
And she started smelling cigarette smoke. he was smoking inside of her house. And then she realized that he was probably at her house when she first got in. That's why she smelled the cigarette smoke. For hours, she huddled inside of this attic crawl space that realistically is a little bit obscured inside of the closet. You would need to be looking for it to see it. And she just hoped that he didn't find her. And so she started counting. She figured, if I can just count to 1,000 with silence downstairs, if I can do that, that means he's probably gone. And so she would start counting, and she'd get to like 200, and then she'd hear him whispering or yelling or knocking something over, and she'd go back down to 0. And so all night, she basically would try to count to 1,000 until finally she did, without it being interrupted. It was probably like 5 or 6 in the morning. So it's been hours and hours of this guy looking for her in her house.
Man, I'd
She
been shitting
believed
bricks.
that it was safe enough for her to open up the attic crawl space and kind of peek back into the room. And so she moves the attic crawl space, the little square piece of wood that blocks the crawl space.
No.
She lifts it up and moves it. And she can now see that just from her little vantage point to where his feet were, that she could see before, that clearly things have been broken. There's glass on the ground. She can see there's clothes on the ground. And she wriggles down. There's no sign of him. It's been a while since she heard him. And she darts across her now destroyed bedroom. Her bed's been flipped. Things have been broken. There's holes in the wall. She gets her phone and goes right back in the crawl space. She calls the police and is like whispering as she's talking to them, because now she's worried that maybe he heard her and he's going to come back. She really doesn't know if he's gone. She just knew she had to call the police. Otherwise, she was dead if he was still there. She gets the police on the phone. They say, "We'll be right there. Stay where you are." The police show up and she can hear them entering the house. They're yelling, "Police, we're coming inside." They search the whole house and they start yelling for her. They start yelling for her by name. And at this point, she feels comfortable opening up the crawl space and coming down to show herself. Sure enough, there's the police and they're like, "There's nobody here. Do you want to walk around the house and see if anything was taken?" Every room was completely trashed. Holes in the wall, things broken. Whoever this was looking for her everywhere in the house and was basically rummaging through everything to try to find her. And the police are like,
That's
"You're very
crazy.
lucky that you thought to jump into that crawl space, because we found a number of your knives from your butcher block have been taken out. They were scattered around the house. It seems like he might have grabbed a knife and then in frustration was maybe looking for you and slashing at different things. Then he'd throw a knife and get another one. It's pretty clear this person was trying to do you harm, and you're very lucky that you had the wherewithal to immediately, when you heard those running footsteps, charge into the closet and hide in the attic. That almost definitely saved your life. Although she
That's
would
crazy.
stay at this house for another 3 years after the incident, it ultimately proved to be too difficult to stay in that house. She was constantly afraid that it was going to happen again. It was very traumatic, and so she ultimately moved. So it just goes to show that while we believe we are safe when we are home, the reality is all those locks and cameras and all the stuff we install around our house to keep ourselves safe,
It's just a Band-Aid.
that's really just to keep the honest people out. The monsters out there, the evil people that want to do us harm, they don't care about breaking windows and
They don't.
forcing their way in. So you should always have a plan of what you would do if someone broke into your home, how you would handle it, whether it is an escape plan or even concealed weapons. But you should do something to protect yourself and have a plan in case the worst case scenario happens to you. So that's going to do it, guys. If you enjoyed this,
Got shit hidden all through my house, bro. I feel bad for someone if they break into my house and they don't kill me right off the bat. Like under my nightstand, I got shit. Up underneath this, I got stuff. Over in that thing, I got stuff. Up behind this thing, I got stuff. Over around that thing, I feel bad for anyone. Like, even my kids are the same way I am. They got like knives and stuff hidden all in their room in case someone comes in the room. Like, we are a paranoid group of people in this house, okay? That's just how it is. But we survive. All right. Like I said, I really enjoyed today's story. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it as much as I did. If you did, go on down there, hit that thumbs up. While you're down there, go on over and hit the subscribe button. Become part of the Bill 5000 Nation. We do some crazy shit here, bruh. And if you want to know when that crazy shit happens, go on over and ding that bell. It don't work, but maybe if enough of you ding it at the same time, it will mysteriously work for the first time ever. And you know what? If you're bored, go on down to the description. Check out the Bill 5000 store. Got some new merch up and got some stuff for the holiday season in case y'all want to go ahead and get some orders in. As always, be good to one another. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Thought she was getting like the Brady Bunch house and she got like The Amityville House of Horrors. It's awful. I would have moved too. I would have moved that same fucking day, bro. I'm not even going to fucking lie. Like, I would not have stayed in that house after all that. Because there would not be an inch of that house that would not remind me of the moment I was cowering in fear, crying and peeing myself in the attic. Yeah, I would have peed.